And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is a world in chaos. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who's supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's M-U-R-D-Y creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our product shots. Follow us to keep up to date with our daily photos and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and exclusive colors on the website, or you can get a blank one on Amazon Prime. Well, it seems like the world is on fire. I don't know exactly what is happening in your sphere of influence, but here in Wisconsin, particularly recently, things have really started to heat up. It's very difficult to think about chaos. And this year has had more chaos than anyone ever expected, and more than anyone I think has really ever experienced it once in a long time, particularly on this large of a scale. I think that's the really unique part of this. It's one thing to have chaos in your life. I think it's one thing to be in a job you don't like or in a relationship you don't like, and to have the chaos and that difficulty. But when that happens, there's always an opportunity to say, well, at least other people are doing okay, right? At least I could get better, right? Maybe if I just get out of this situation, move to a different situation, things will be better. But boy, in this particular time and in this particular place, it seems like everywhere is struggling. It doesn't matter whether you're, in the East, in the West, in the Midwest, in the United States, overseas. It's just the world is in chaos. Now, I don't know if that's because of the election that's coming up. Every time we have an election, it always seems like the world just happens to fall into chaos again. But regardless of the cause, it's where we're at. So what do we do? How do we deal with that? I had this great this meme that I saw the other day, and I laughed really hard. It was the woman, I think it was. It was the woman, the black woman who is kneeling over and looking down the street intently with the look on her face. It's that meme, and it said me looking to figure out which chapter of Revelation we're on today. And boy, does that feel true. Hope. That's the answer. Caution is another piece of that. We need to be hopeful that things will improve. I have hope. I have hope even if things don't improve, and if I end up, the worst should happen, I should say, I'm going to heaven, right? My hope is in the firm faith that I have in Christ. But I also have hope for the Lord to take care of me, but also to take care of my family and to take care of the world. And I hope for things to improve. And I think they will. Every time in the past there has been a horrific, chaotic, terrible catastrophe event, we've recovered. We slowly heal. We get better at things. Things improve. I just finished watching this World War II documentary on Netflix, and actually watched several. The series brought to my mind how much those wars, World War I and II, not only destroyed so many lives, but destroyed entire countries. You look at World War II and Poland and Austria and a lot of the other countries that were involved in the European part of the world, in World War II. And it's like the amount of bombing, the amount of destruction of infrastructure, destruction of homes, of factories, it's like there was just nothing left. I couldn't imagine trying to rebuild in an environment like that. I couldn't imagine trying to start a company, start a country back up. It's like, how do you do that? But they did. And they succeeded. Things that got better relatively quickly, actually. I mean, you still feel the effects of some of these historical events now, but we recovered from that as a country, as a community, as the world from World War II, which was a horrible, destructive thing. I mean, you think about the vast struggles that people have had to overcome in the past, and this isn't better, this isn't easier necessarily, but It's not much worse. It's not different. I think for many, me included, there's a lot of fear. You wake up every day and you see the news and you just it's just disaster every day. And I've really intentionally tried to avoid the news, actually. And shockingly enough, you probably can. You don't go on social media and you don't watch television, you can probably avoid most of the news. And that actually helps. I think sometimes watching too much news just makes you sad. And I think being able to separate yourself from that is actually very key. Because the question that you have to ask yourself is not, is the world in chaos? The question you have to ask yourself is my life in this very moment in my particular sphere in chaos? The answer could be yes. The answer could very much be yes. But I think sometimes we put too much emphasis on the world or on the country or on the state, and we don't put enough emphasis on your people, you today, your family, the coworkers you work with, your boss, your job, right? We don't put enough emphasis necessarily on the day-to-day. And you have to say to yourself, you know what? If my day, if I never knew what was going on outside of the things I interact with on a day-to-day basis, what would my life be like? What would my mentality, my psychology be like? Sure, you'd still know about the pandemic, right? You'd still know that there were people in trouble, right? You'd still know that your job is there's trouble at your job. People are being tested for disease when they come in. So, you'd still know about it. But the question is would you panic? Would you be as despondent as you might be? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. And I actually have found that the days, if I can go 5 or 6 days without really interacting on social media, beyond just basic posting for the company, and don't listen to any of the news podcasts that I listen to, actually my mind improves. Like I improve, my mentality, my mood improves significantly. So don't separate yourself from reality, but it's okay to separate yourself from the news, because you need to keep in mind that their whole business model is predicated on you watching. So they have to do everything they can to keep it interesting and engaging and to make you watch them versus watching Netflix. So they have a vested financial interest in making the news as, I'm not going to say sensational, but as entertaining in the worst possible way as it can be. Now, I will say that you can't be completely isolated, right? Being aware as a business owner of the changing climate is probably not a terrible thing. Be it financial, be it economic, be it political, be it socioeconomic, right? Whatever the sphere that you feel is the most important, being aware of those changes can be key. However, I think spending way too much time in them is not good. You need to focus on your business, your locality, your day-to-day operations, how to improve your world first. Because if you can't improve your world, then you can't improve the rest of the world. You have to put your own house in order first, right? And before you panic about what's coming down the road and feel like you can't figure this out and the disaster is looming, realize that it may or may not materialize, and it's best to cross the bridge when you get there. We can spend a lot of time, I'm spending a lot of time worried about what Christmas is going to look like, what the economy is going to do after the election, what the protesting and the rioting is going to look like after the election. And it could be daunting. It's a kind of a terrifying thing to think about. So, don't worry about what may come, but worry about what's in front of you right now. And have faith. Now, on the other side of it, it's okay to be cautious. There is a reasonable, measured amount of risk avoidance during times like this that I don't think are bad. I think when you look at how do we continue to innovate, how do we continue to grow, how do we continue to improve our advertising without taking risk, the answer is you can't. But there are ways to take smart risks. For example, rather than running an entire $10,000 new ad campaign, maybe run a couple of new ads for a small day-to-day budget, right? Rather than launching a whole new product line, maybe revise some of your current products, see if you can improve them. Rather than trying to, completely change everything about, the way you do business. Maybe just work on, fixing the things that you absolutely know are broken in your current system in a small way. And realize that the future's coming, right? There will come a time when this is all over. There will come a time when this is better, right? Whether it be the disease and, we've got a vaccine, which will come eventually, and everyone's inoculated and suddenly people aren't getting sick anymore, right? Whether it's that, whether it's the economy, which will inevitably improve once people don't feel the fear of not being able to have a job and not, being able to go to their work, or whether it be the socioeconomic unrest, the political unrest that happens, which I'm sure will die down after the election and it's no longer politically expedient. Regardless of what happens next, be cautious, but be hopeful. I am. I have to be. What's the alternative? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check back in on next Tuesday for our next topic. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below to be sure to get the latest podcast right away. And turn on the alerts. For those of you who are avid podcast fans, you'll know that I missed, I think, Thursday and then the last two of last week and Tuesday of this week. So I think I've missed 4 podcasts over the last bit. Things got really busy with our new launch, and I've been a little bit behind the ball, but hoping to get back into it. Such is the business owner's life. But I really appreciate those of you who turn on the alerts so that you can be sure to get notified when we have new ones. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binders, journals, folios, masks, or accessories, feel free to check out our the main page of our website where we've got a contact form at the bottom. You can also reach out to us via Instagram and Facebook. You can text, email, call, direct message, all the usuals. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible, but email is truly the fastest way to get a hold of us. For a little while during the sale, we got a little bit behind when we were working on clearing out that old inventory. It was pretty crazy, but we're back to responding to things within 24 hours to 48 hours. We also have a company phone line. You can feel free to call us if you have a question, 414-434-9001. You can also text that number, which actually has a pretty quick response rate just because it's easy for us to answer a text. So feel free to give us a call. If we're not available, leave us a voicemail. We'll get back to it as soon as we can. If you think we deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow our new community. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising, so please tell your friends about the podcast, tell your friends about the product with word of mouth. But sign up for our referral program if you're going to do that. All you need to do is go log in at the top of our website, and then you can click on the rewards button in the bottom left, and it has a referral link where if you share it with them, they get $5. You get $5 when they use it. So it's a great little way to share that. You also can get loyalty points where you get rewards back on your, back into your account so that you can redeem them for dollars off your next purchase. So definitely sign up for that program. But if you're going to leave us a review, you should do it on Facebook, facebook.com/murdycreative.co/reviews, or you can type murdycreative.co into the Facebook search bar and then click reviews on the left-hand side. And it says, do you recommend the Murdy Creative Company? And you can type yes, and then you can write us a review. We read them all. We love them all. Normally, I'll read them out loud to our staff during the staff meetings. So it's something that very much encourages us. It means the world to us. It also helps those who are unsure about spending the amount of money that our products cost. It helps them realize and be comfortable knowing that the quality really does live up to the hype. So we really appreciate all of you who've left reviews. And if you'd like to leave a review, that's a good place to do it. If you have any podcast topics you want to hear more about, send them my way. I am always looking for new topics to talk about. There's a lot of things that go onto the background of this business that I don't know if they're important or not, or if they're interesting. So if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll work on getting to them. You can also tweet at me. That's a pretty quick way to do it. At murdycreative.co. I think it's actually at Murdy Creative Co. There's no dot. I don't think you can do dots on Twitter. To double check that. Anyway, you can tweet at me. We don't get very many tweets. We get maybe 2 tweets like a week. So if you tweet at me, I'll probably respond relatively quickly because I don't have many people reach out that way. If you have any podcast topics that are unrelated necessarily to the day-to-day, but are more big business, big picture, ethereal kind of things, I'd love to talk about those too. I did a lot of education and I've taught before, so I'd like to do big picture stuff. And in light of that big picture stuff, there's some more stuff coming down the pipeline that I'm excited to tell you guys more about eventually. If you're looking for multiple binders, journals, folios, anything we sell for gifts, giveaways, menus, really any reason, ask about our bulk discounts available. The bulk discounts start at 5. So it's not even, you don't even have to have that many to qualify. And if you get 5 of one thing, 5 of another, 5 of another, that counts as 15 items towards the bulk discount. So definitely check us out if you're looking for something cool like that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day and goodbye.